Welcome back to Spitballin Cards. In today's video, we're talking all about sticker autographs and the top players under 25, and if the hobby and baseball are in a good spot compared to the last young player crop of Ronald Acuna Jr., Fernando Tatis Jr., Juan Soto, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Let's talk about who we have on today's video. We have me, Scott, Filmington, Ty, and Jeff. Chris is not here right now. He's visiting his parents. Chris, if you're listening, we love you. Okay, let's jump into this. Very first thing I want to talk about are sticker autographs. And the reason I want to talk about sticker autographs is because we have an individual, maybe two people, I actually haven't talked to Ty about this yet, who hates them, right? Jeff hates sticker autographs. And before you explain why, Jeff, I want to explain the context of why we found this out about you. So Jeff and Chris, and Ty too, but Jeff and Chris especially, they love opening day image variations and image variations in general. Phil and I are a little bit less that way, I'd say. I'm getting more into it, but it's not our cup of tea as much. And I sent Jeff and Chris a Ronald Acuna Jr. opening day image variation autograph. And for those of you that don't know, those are stickers. All of Topps SSPs and image variations are almost all sticker autographs. And they said they had no interest in it because it was a sticker. So I guess I want to bring this up is there a place at all in the hobby for stickers? Why or why not? Jeff, I want to start with you on this.
Is there a place? I guess because some people do collect them. Yeah, I don't know. And the more I've been back in the hobby, the more it's bothered me to have sticker autographs. When I first came back in 2017, I was amazed at how many autographs there were in products from when I originally was in the hobby in the late 80s and early 90s. So it was very cool to see autographs being pulled. But then I started to notice the trend of having a sticker on them. And then I learned about how the players would sign hundreds of these stickers and somebody at the factory would slap them on, sometimes straight, sometimes not. And it just, over time, it's bothered me because at least if a player signs the autograph on the card, there's a moment where that player, a player that we like or admire, has touched the card. It's been in their possession. And yes, I realize how nerdy this sounds, but at least it was in their possession. They signed it, and then it came through a pack and somehow found its way to you. And you're also touching the same card that they touched when they signed it. So for me, an autograph is a pretty special experience when you pull that out. And to have a sticker on there, I think it just takes away all of that specialness. So even if you have a really rare card, a super short print or an opening day SSP, where they have the sticker on there, I don't feel like it's as powerful as it could be if it was on the card. And in a lot of cases, I would prefer the non-autoed version if it's going to be a sticker. Okay. But again, it's personal preference, but that's where I'm coming from.
Phil, Ty, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, so with me, I wouldn't say I'm in the same category as you, Scott, but I can see when there's a time and place. And I mean, if you were to look at it from the standpoint of like the manufacturer, either we get sticker autos on the card in some cases, or we get no autographs at all, just because it's hard to get the on-card autographs and be able to print the whole set all at once and make that work, right? Because you're going to be collecting a lot of these on-card autographs often before the season starts, right? So during the season, you're often relying on stickers. But having said that, I do have a strong preference to on-card autos. Like in today's age of manufactured scarcity, we've got so many different parallels from so many different sets. It's just another thing that makes the card more contrived, more cheesy to have that sticker autograph. I think in some cases it might look, I think over the years, they kind of changed from like the silver sticker to the clear sticker, and it looks a little less noticeable. With me, I have paid some big money at the time for sticker autographs. One example of that is like a Juan Soto Topps Chrome Update orange refractor. And that only comes, I think, in the autograph. I don't think there's a non-auto of that. So the fact that he's got no Topps Chrome autographs, right, that would be on card like Ronald Acuna or Shohei Ohtani has, I felt like that was the only place to go with Soto. And then on top of that, for that specific parallel, not having any other non-autograph cards. Maybe for the gold, though, I could see people preferring the non-autograph just because it does exist. But I could also see people preferring the sticker autograph, because I mean, if you just get the same card but with a sticker auto and it's not super ugly, then why not just go for that? I think in time or over the last few years, I don't maybe the secondary like market values have narrowed a little bit for that one specific card. But it's still, there's definitely still a preference, I think, for people to take that autograph if they have the chance. Another example of a sticker autograph that I purchased before: Mike Trout, 2009 Bowman Sterling. And if you think about it, like, how many 2009 autographs does Trout have? To me, it's a nice looking card. Even though it's a sticker auto and even though it's like the silver backing, it looks like it has a place on that card. But in a lot of other cases, like these days, if I'm going to be spending more than like $5,000 on a card, like if it's Patrick Mahomes' autograph, I just picked one up. I made sure it was an on-card auto. I wouldn't have paid that much for a sticker autograph. So I can see both ways. I can see Jeff talking about some of these opening day short prints and preferring the one that doesn't have the sticker auto, because it's like an eyesore to them. It's a distraction to the overall card, especially if the image is nice. So I guess I kind of sit between Scott and Jeff somewhere.
I do want to say, I'm not like saying I'm a huge sticker autograph. Like, I think they should all be it that way. But we'll get to my thoughts in 2 seconds. I want to hear Ty's thoughts first.
I'm probably closer to Jeff than Phil, but I mean, you're not that far apart from what I just heard. I generally don't buy sticker autos. My preference is that if they sign on card and those are readily available, then I'm definitely not going after a sticker auto. And in many cases where it's a product like a Topps Chrome, or in sports other than baseball, a Prism or something, I would just rather have the base variation, the parallel, without the sticker auto slapped onto it. It just doesn't look good to me. Scott, you sent me, I'm going to blow my screen up here just so that everybody can see this, but you just sent me this John Smoltz card, and it's a really cool 5-star from 2017. Now, the patch is awesome, but if this had been a sticker auto, I almost probably wouldn't have bought this card unless the price would have been significantly cheaper. I will say, though, I did just buy a sticker auto soccer card of one of my favorite soccer players, and it's because soccer athletes do not sign on card hardly ever. You can't get an on card auto in soccer outside of a product like Eminence or some of the other high end sets. They're almost always sticker autos, and the reason is because they're all over the world, and they just send them the stickers to sign, and then they send them back. It would be way too hard logistically to get these cards to all these different players in different places. So there are exceptions where I'll go for a sticker auto. I do have some, but I also get a lot of people who send me messages of like pretty cool Drummond cards that are sticker autos, and I just say most of the time I'm not interested.
Okay, so here's my thoughts. I agree with everything you've all said. I want to make sure I say that first, but I do think in some ways we get so focused on collecting a specific way that our disdain for it is due to that more than our actual disdain to what it is. Like, I just think that we talk ourselves into, I only collect on cards because that's how I collect. But there are situations and circumstances where I think sticker autographs are completely fine and completely acceptable and better than the alternative, which is redemptions, which expire in product for some really big cards. Stickers are a great way to get cards into product. And on top of that, in the past, like, we've seen a lot of really big cards be sticker autographs. And obviously the goal would have no stickers in cards, right? I think we all can agree. If Fanatics can do it, no redemptions, no stickers, I think we'd all be cool with that. But there's the blanket statement of saying they're all bad, and then we have this collecting mentality of like, well, I'm not going to touch it, I think is wrong personally. And the reason I do say that, I'm biased. I did just purchase this card, and it's not in my hand yet, so I always hate showing a card before I own it.
Is it a Mookie Betts Bowman Sterling?
It's not. I do own 2 sticker autographs now. One is a Mookie Betts Bowman Sterling Canary out of 3. And I will say I don't want the other ones, partially because there are more Mookies readily available, and it's rare. It's why I like it. But it's this card. This is a Juan Soto Gatorade Bath SSP autograph. There's only about 5 to 10 of these that exist. It's Juan Soto's best card, I would say, like the image for a base flagship card. By far his best card. But now there's only 5 or 10 of these in the world versus the 200 and something that exist, or 150, whatever it is, right? Of the Gatorade Bath. And so for me, like, this card, it makes sense to collect it, even though it's a sticker. Like Phil said, it's Topps Chrome update. It makes sense to collect it, even though it's a sticker, because it's Juan Soto's Topps Chrome. and it's his best. It's one of his best rookie autographs. He has other alternatives, but at the same time, like, right, well, let's say, okay, well, is hypothetically a Bowman's best gold refractor better than this card because it's on card? No, it's not better in any way, in my opinion. And Jeff, you might disagree, but Bowman's best is not better than this card in any way to me. And so, like, that's the type of thing where you have to debate. But I do think the blanket statement of sticker bad, on card good is a little bit blown up proportion in the hobby. And I think because everyone always publicly says they suck, that actually makes a lot of cards like that shouldn't suck in their eyes, when I think there should be an internal thought process of, okay, it makes sense in some cases.
Yeah, I mean, that card there has a lot of like redeeming qualities.
Yeah, for sure.
That kind of make up for the difference of that in a Bowman's best autograph, like regardless of the parallel you're talking about. So I guess I think where we can all agree is we prefer on card over sticker, right? It's not, the sticker doesn't suck, the sticker's just worse.
Yes.
And maybe the sticker still sucks in Jeff's mind. And that point that you made actually about how a sticker auto is better than a redemption, I think Chris might actually disagree. Jeff maybe as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've been screwed by expired redemptions in the past, and I wish redemptions wouldn't expire, because that's another topic we can go down, which is ridiculous. But I would much rather have a redemption and wait for the card than pull a card and have it be a sticker. So
yeah, and I agree with that. But look at, I know Chris loves 2020 Stadium Club. He loves it. He loves that product. But now he doesn't want to open it because who are the players? Bo Bichette and Jordan, the two chases, don't have autographs that are live. And so there's no reason in his eyes in a lot of ways to do that. But I think it would feel less that way if they were sticker autographs. It makes that
I disagree. I think it would feel less that way if the redemptions didn't expire. But no,
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, though, we have either or right now. Right now, that is what we have. It's a sticker and it's live, or the redemptions expire. In a perfect world, they'd all be on card and all redemptions wouldn't expire. I'm not arguing that. But I'm just saying that product would be benefited if they did that. I'm not advocating for, that product to have stickers. That's a big beef with regular Stadium Club Chrome autos, like in Stadium Club.
Yeah.
But I do think there's times when they can benefit the collector. Also helps lower the cost of cards. And I don't know if it's an elitist mentality. Generally, stickers are cheaper because they can get more of them into lower end products, which is always good as well.
They definitely reduce the cost for the company, whether that's passed on to the consumer or not. I'm not sure. I guess I have a question. It does become a matter of personal preference, right? If you like the sticker or not, you feel like it's a valid autographed card with a sticker or not. But if I ask you, like, if say you have an autographed ball, an autographed Major League Baseball, and has a sticker on, is that still an autographed ball?
If that's the only way you can get that autographed baseball, then people would collect them, and for good reason. And
would collect them? I don't know. I mean, you would collect them, you're saying?
If Mickey Mantle only signed baseballs with a sticker his entire career, or there was like very few of them with on-ball autographs, and this is hypothetical, then people would collect them. See, you agree with me. Look at that thumbs up you just gave me.
I feel like sometimes you might as well just have it like on a top loader, and like, what's the difference? It's a sticker with an auto. So like, to me, it more often than not, it just doesn't add a lot for me. It's like some guy just raced through a whole stack of labels to do this, and that
people just race through whole stacks of cards.
I think it's lost. I think it like
but at least they've had the card in their possession.
All 10,000 cards they sign a year. At some point, like I understand. I'm just saying, like, and I actually agree with you. I'm kind of just playing devil's advocate at this point, right?
Yeah,
I'm kind of debating with you. Like that's all I'm doing here. So everybody listening, I'm not like really pompous all the time about this. I'm kind of just doing this to play devil's advocate. I own 2 sticker autographs, both of which are incredibly rare, and they only bought them because of what they are. But
Scott, like think of some cool like on card autos that are out there, like Topps Heritage Red Ink. You think those would be as cool and as sought after in the hobby if they were sticker autos? I don't know.
No, of course not.
What would they really even look like if they were sticker autos? Like, how much worse would they look?
No, of course not. But if there was one numbered to 5 and there's the blue ink, the problem is like this Gatorade bath, right? There's no on-card alternative. Either you have, right? So that's an example where it makes sense to me. But no, I agree with you. But if there was no other numbered card besides the blue ink and then a red ink to 5, people would still think the red ink was cool. I know it's not as cool, but it would still be collectible. And yeah, I know it's a foreign sticker stuck to the card, but cards are still cardboard. So it's like, do you want your sticker signed or your cardboard signed? It's both just like a flimsy little thing of no intrinsic value whatsoever when you look at it that way. So
yeah, let me real quick throw something at people, and I'm still undecided how I really feel about this. In certain circumstances, I think it's great. In other circumstances, I think it's not great. How do you compare this to in-person autographs? If you get a card autographed doesn't come from a pack, you get it autographed either in person or through a signing. How do you guys feel about those?
If I could pick between, okay, that's tough. Okay, I need to make it like, this is again the situations where you can make a case for either. And so I want to make sure that's clear. I do not really care about in-person autographs most of the time. 99% of the time, they don't do much for me. I know Billy Butler really well, and so I can get him to sign every Billy Butler card I have, but I don't want him signing my superfractors. Like, I don't want that. But if there was a Billy Butler superfractor that was a sticker autograph out of pack, I would want that. And so, yes, in some cases, I do not prefer on card. I mean, I don't prefer in-person autographs.
I would not want anybody signing like the really high-end cards. There's been a lot of debate about that over the last like 6 months on IG about some of the high-end basketball cards, PMGs and things, where there have been autos from athletes on those cards, and people are like, don't do it on those. I tend to agree with that I wouldn't want it on a really high-end card. There's an exception where a base paper stock image variation or something, to me, if it had an auto on it, would be pretty cool. I pulled a Dale Murphy members only from Stadium Club from a blaster, and then there was like a rumor that he might be part of the Topps Rip party, and like if he was there, would he sign? It was just sort of this hypothetical, and I thought I'd have him sign this card. I think that'd be pretty cool. I pack pulled it. I meet him in person. He signs it, and it goes squarely into my PC. But I'm not as interested typically in in-person autos that somebody else chased down or like sent through the mail and got back and is now trying to sell. That doesn't usually do much for me.
I feel the same way. I know Chris just got, I don't know if he wants me to share, so maybe I won't, but Chris did something recently that he's really excited about, and it's cool. That's cool to me because it's for his PC, but realistically, he probably couldn't sell that item for the cost of the signing. Like, it's cool to him, and that's what they can be. I have an Acuna signed 2018 update that I pulled out of a pack that my mom gave me for Christmas. My mom, like 2021, she got me a hanger box from Shopko, or 2020, right before they closed, of 2018 update. When those are going for like $200 at the time. Pulled an Acuna rookie card, and then I sent it into his personal signing for $250. That card's not worth more than $150 now. So like, lost money on it, but it's still sentimental and cool. And I would never buy that card for ever. Even for $1,500, I wouldn't pay for it personally.
I know. So Spencer Jones is one of the hot prospects. I think he was left off of Keith Law's top 100, but he was on like a lot of guys like top 20, top 30. And of course, he hit that 470-foot home run, and he went like, I don't know, 2 for 2 with a few walks the next game, and his stuff's gone nuts. I heard that his Bowman Chrome autograph, his Superfractor non-auto, got an IP auto. Do you know about this, Ty? Did you hear about this?
No, I did not.
So, like, you're taking a card that's now worth probably $20,000 to $30,000, and you're kind of tainting it by adding this confusing autograph to it, which, as we're saying here, like, it doesn't really add much value to us.
Yeah.
We collect certified Topps autographs, right?
Yeah.
We don't collect this IP stuff. I know a person, not going to say he's a friend, but he might be. And as a hobby, he chased down a top 5 pitcher in the game, about to be a Hall of Famer in the next 10 years or so. He's not a top 5 pitcher in the game anymore, but he was. And Scott, you probably guess, but let's not guess. And he'll buy refundable plane tickets, and he'll find, maybe from some Discord, like where these guys are going. He's tracked down Soto, and he'll have some story to kind of hook them in. He has like this suitcase that he brings with him that has no luggage in it, right? Maybe some shorts, so it has some weight. and he like makes it seem like he just stumbles into them, but he knows where they're going to be, and he knows that this guy's like a $75 autograph, and he doesn't care because he's like, well, they make like 15-20 million dollars a year, like this is part of the business, like you're supposed to be heckled. And I'm just like, yeah, but like, do you want to be one of those guys that just annoys like people of that stat? Like, what what if everybody had that mentality? So like that type of sweat, like I don't want to compensate that by, being in that market. And I'm not saying everybody does that. Some people do the TTM stuff. Some people probably have like an ethical code to do this stuff. Like I'm not familiar with it, so I don't want to bash it too much. I just know what he does. And like to approach Juan Soto, geez, I hope he doesn't watch this. He's got a picture of himself in like military gear when he was 21, and he found Juan Soto when Juan Soto was 21 or at the same age. He's like, look, I was in the military when I was your age. Look, 22. See, like that's what I mean. Like, and then these guys are just like, because it happens so much, they're just like, and they just sign like only once, and they'll sign one card, and he's like, thank you, and he just leaves, and he refunds his ticket, he gets the full amount back, and goes home.
Yeah, and I do want to say, with what you just said, Phil, some people enjoy this hobby in a vastly different way than I enjoy this hobby. So if you enjoy in-person autographs because of the memory it creates, plus you know that you got that card signed with a celebrity, you saw them hold it, right, Jeff? If that's your thing, they held the card. Those are probably more held in a lot of ways than any of the little sign slide, hundreds and thousands of cards. So I get that. It's just funny how it's just not for me. Right. So like there are very rare situations where I'd want a sticker, an on-card auto, usually only if the player's deceased, then those become desirable. Like, right, if you can get a Mickey Mantle on card from the 1960s and 50s, those are cool. Ted Williams, that type of a thing. But with modern players, they sign so much already on card and sticker that I do not have a desire for them whatsoever.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to bring up. I'm not a vintage collector, but it seems like in the last 4 or 5 years, vintage autographs, especially of players who have passed away, are really hot. And even on great cards, right? You see really high-end Mickey Mantle cards being autographed that enhances their value, whereas some of the examples that Phil's talked about and that we've talked about, that kind of tarnishes a card. It seems like some in vintage circles, it can really enhance the value of an older card. So that's another area to consider. Like I said, I don't really collect vintage, but I know that seems to be getting very popular.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also want to point out, right? So some people have collections that cost different prices than other individuals. If you have a collection, your most valuable card is a really cool sticker autograph. That's awesome. Please don't think that we're saying that it sucks. That's not the case. And we're speaking more of like an idealistic world. All of us start at one point with our collection and you slowly upgrade it. If you'd have told me what my collection looked like now compared to 5 or 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you with the cards that I've been able to get just through trading and smart purchases and selling, right? That's just what you got to do to build it up, unless you have more excess income, which you can do. So just know, if you have a cool sticker autograph, they do have a place and they are cool. And if you decide that you like them, that's great too. So I just want to make sure I throw that out there. Just for Jeff and Chris, it's just not their collecting style, just like on card might not be my collecting style. So I'm not trying to like sit on the fence here, but just know we're not saying that, your collection.
Yeah, it all goes along with what Scott said. You develop your own personal preferences. When I first got back in, I liked on-card autographs. And since then, I'd rather have a card of the same value that's not autographed rather than have a sticker autograph. So it's not even about value to me at that point. It's just about the aesthetics of it and thinking about that card's journey to me. So
yeah, totally. Will you admit, Jeff, that Soto I got is cool, at least for me?
That's a great card.
So I don't feel bad about buying it. You're making me feel really bad right now.
No, it's an amazing card. I wish I had that card. So yeah, that's great.
Okay, you shared something with me in the chat, Jeff.
Yeah, I just wanted to a little bit what we were talking about with the getting rarer cards signed. Here's a very rare Rafael Devers card, SSP, and somebody got it signed in person with a silver pen, and it actually ended up reducing the value. It ended up going for auction cheaper than an unautographed version would. But there's something about it that it does appeal to me. If you're going to get an in-person autograph, if you get it on a rare card, it does create. It's probably the only version of this card that's signed, or yeah, probably the only version that's signed. At least the only version that's signed in silver ink like this. So I think it does make it unique. And if it's something that you prefer, that you love for your personal collection, then I say go for it.
I agree. Can I say one hobby thing that I don't love? Those are the ink pens. I've never been able to get on board with them. Yeah, they've never done anything for me. They're usually more streaky. They're usually not bold. There's a lot of things about them that just never have done it for me. I don't know what it is.
Like the paint pens,
like even the silver ink. It's never spoke to me.
It's not as legible or recognizable.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's just thick and messy. So, yeah, but some people love them, and that's their card. And again, that's great because
I like it.
If we all collected the same thing, it'd be boring. Ty, you collect them?
Yeah, I like the ink autos. Like the ink marker, whatever, paint marker. I don't know what you call them, but the different colors. I think they're pretty cool.
Great. Well, we had a really long episode this week already with our Ohtani draft. If you haven't checked it out, go watch that video. A lot of fun. Let us know who you think won. I think I know who won, and I won't say who it is, but he might be in the bottom left corner. Just kidding. Or might be top right corner. I don't know who it was. But either way, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video.